Everybody, it's FG coming at you again. Doing a little truck project here today. It's Thursday and we're pretty slow at work, so I decided to take a half a PTO day here. I'm going to show you a little idea I got. Now this is not something that I initially invented, so I'm not going to take credit for this. This is the ClubFrontier forum that I belong to. Someone had posted they had done this modification for their truck, and I thought it was a really cool idea. So I've got my Carlisle All Truck National shirt here. I am ready to go. So let me get into a little bit of detail here and explain exactly what's going on here. Okay, so here's what we've got, and this is actually a plastic tray that I sourced from Target. It's actually made for a mud room, and it's for people to put their boots in and things like that, so that well, if you're younger, it'd be your parents. If not, probably your significant other is going to be yelling at you loudly for dirtying up the carpet or hardwood or whatever you have in your mudroom. So this is just a simple plastic tray. They're $10 each. I bought 2 of them. So I'm going to put 1 in each wheel liner. So this is going to go in the rear wheel arches to keep mud and other materials, dirt and rocks and etc., from slinging up into the front part of the underside of the bed. So you can see here I took some tape and went ahead and made a template, held it up to the truck, ran my line down through here with a Sharpie, and I'm now going to go ahead and cut this out. So this is what it looks like when it starts. It's got a lip all the way around it, and I just took my electric saber saw, cut the lip off of it, went ahead and made a flat plate out of it, which is what the original posting had decided to do as well, and I thought it was a really great idea. So I'm going to go ahead and follow that, and in part 2 of the video here, which I will not really be part 2, it's just going to be the continuation, but you'll see in a few minutes how this is coming along. I'll go ahead and take a video after it's cut and see how it's fitting up. If you go out to your truck and you look in the rear wheel wells, looking towards the nose of the truck, especially on the driver's side, you'll see that there's an area which is connected to the fuel tank that has a whole bunch of pipes and hoses and things of that nature, which is part of the evaporative emission control system. And a lot of material can get caught up in that area, especially in the winter time. You got to flush that out with a nice jet of water to get all the ice and snow and other garbage that's collected up in there to prevent your frame from rusting. I thought this was a really easy, cheap, and smart idea on how to take care of that problem. So like I said, come back to you well, it'll be a few minutes of my time, but it'll just be seconds in the video, but I'll show you after everything's cut and fitted how that's coming along. See you on the flip side. Alright, hey everyone, we're back. Here is the progress after a little while here. As you can see, it's not a big rectangle anymore. Alright, so this is going to be more of the business end. There's 2 holes here for the mounting bracket. Hopefully your truck has these. I think that not all of them do. My Pro 4 did not have forward mud flaps. I think the Nissan parts department calls them air deflectors, but the bracket is there, and there are 2 nylon inserts that I can put screws into, so I'm going to take advantage of that. So you can see where I've radiused the front but made 2 different cuts. The reason that I had to do that was the original guy that I got this idea from was able to fit it somehow around that bracket and be able to tuck the inner lip inside the wheel arch. I, on my truck, don't see how that's going to be possible, so I put a cutout right here so that most of it can sit inside the lip, and this little piece here at the bottom is actually going to sit flush on the outside of the lip. I'll give you a better view of that when it's on the truck. Now coming to the rear here, I had to make some clearance cuts. This one down here at the bottom is to clearance for the leaf spring, because when it was hard up against the frame, it looked like it was going to rub the spring, and I didn't really want that happening, so I figured it was just smarter to give it a little space to be able to flex, so I cut that away. And then coming up here a little bit more, you're going to see a second cut. That's actually clearance for the frame rail, because as I was tucking this into place, I was finding that it was a little bit tight. So I took and went ahead, made those cuts, and then transferred all of that over to the other one, which is right here. And hopefully, without too much trimming and modification, it'll fit on both sides properly. This is about an hour later. I've been going fairly slowly. Old carpenter's adage, right? You measure twice and cut once. Well, I've been measuring about 12 times and probably cutting 3 or 4. So hopefully this comes out as nicely as I have it pictured in my head. But these are only $10 each, so it's not a huge investment if it turns out that it didn't go so great. But so far it looks like it's fitting up in the truck pretty well, so I'm kind of pleased with the progress so far. The last piece of this video will actually show both sides installed in the wheel wells. Hopefully I can get enough light in there that you'll be able to see them. I might have to use a flashlight and a camera. We'll try that out. And you can get an idea of how they look fitted up to the truck itself. I think this is going to be a good modification. It'll keep, as I was saying, the snow, ice, mud, all that nature from packing up in that underbed / cab area where a lot of it gets slung and tends to sit. There are some brackets inside the bottom of the truck, if you look in the bed, that project outwards and make a very nice shelf for all kinds of debris and crap to just lay in, which sounds to me like a very terrible idea, given that they're basically horizontal. If you get salt and stuff built up in there in the wintertime, for those of you who live in the states like we do that salt on a regular basis, that is definitely not going to give your steel any nice favors. So that's what I decided to do, and we are moving forward from here. Going to be mounting it next. Coming back at you later. Hey everybody, FG back at you again. And here is the panel installed into the truck. I did not ever remove the rear tires, so it's going to be a little hard to see all the detail probably, but there's the frame, obviously, the cross member, and this is tucked up inside, and it comes to approximately the middle of the wheel arch, which I'm pretty happy about. I think that's a good job. Looks like it would need to be about 6 feet long to be able to cover the entire wheel opening, but it didn't come out too bad. Stainless steel screws that I installed to hold it in place using the original bracket that was originally intended for either you call it a front mud deflector, or I believe Nissan, as I had mentioned earlier, calls it a wind deflector. Regardless, that bracket was already there. I went ahead and installed 3 or 4 stainless screws so I don't have any rust. And while I was in here, I put some undercoat on the frame itself as well, just to give it an extra layer of protection. So that basically concludes this project, and I hope this inspires you to maybe try this on your own. We'll see how it works out. I'm curious to see what the long-term longevity, etc., etc. It is plastic, so I don't know how it'll fare in really cold temperatures, but hopefully nothing bad happens, and we'll go from there. It's FG until next time.